Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. Back with my good friend Matt, the lumberjack landlord. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing awesome, Mike. Excited to talk about topic number 3.
Yeah. So topic number 3 is something I caught the last couple of days, and apparently there is a site. I'll see if I can find it, but apparently there's a website where you can register or sign, a petition asking for $2,000 a month from the government. Apparently, it has 3 million signatures already of people wanting to get $2,000 a month. I'm going to call it stimulus. It kind of feels like UBI. I'm not really sure where this is coming from, but basically 3 million people want to get $2,000 a month from the government from now. I guess maybe during the crisis, or maybe it's forever. I don't know. But I look at something like that going, well, I know how that ends, even if it happens. But I thought I'd ask you about, what do you think? $2,000, 24 grand a year, probably tax free too. I would assume. I just keep giving the stuff away. What do you think?
I mean, sounds awesome, Mike. Where do I sign?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, honest to God with this stuff, I think that there's certainly some people that truly need a safety net. Most people don't. And I would far more like to see reforms in the area that say you get all of this for 1 year or all of this for 2 years. But then after that, you can never have it again. And I think that, and through that, people getting counseling, people getting all the things that they need to understand, okay, what am I going to do with my shot? So I think that I ran into a generational voucher program tenant. Grandmother was on it, mother was on it, she's on it. What are we teaching? How much freedom does she have? How much pride does she have in the fact that she could go out and do something? You can, there's absolutely the opportunity. So yeah, I hate UBI, universal basic income. I hate the entire idea. And if you want to see something that will truly limit a society, that will be it. And create a bigger wealth gap.
Oh, it'll be a huge wealth gap. So, right, again, when I look at situations like that again moves, that just moves. Again, I studied economics, right? So basically what you're doing is you're taking the income, I don't know, graph, and you're moving the bottom end, right? It just moves up, which takes the median higher, takes the average higher, all of these things. But you are not changing supply,
right?
You're changing money. Right. You're not changing supply of housing. You're not changing supply of food. You're not changing supply of movie tickets. You're not changing supply of anything. So if you just sprinkle more money in the
Everything
system,
gets more expensive
almost immediately, right? We're talking like a summer shit is more expensive, right? A movie theater that costs $15 today will cost 30. Because again, it's a supply demand balance. If you just sprinkle money on people's heads for nothing, for no production, everything instantaneously gets more expensive. It doesn't end well. And again, what really bothers me is the rat race, right? And again, I didn't notice the rat race. I didn't know it was called the rat race until I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But that's how I was raised. Go to school, get a good job, make a lot of money, buy pretty presents. That's the saying my mother told me every day she dropped me off at grade school. I can close my eyes and hear her saying it in our brown Honda Civic that she called Daisy. Michael, now go to school, get a good job, get a good education, and get a good job so you can make a lot of money and buy me pretty presents. The rat race is real. And if we don't get out of consumption, if we don't start to live below our means, and we don't start to invest in the future, the wheel just gets bigger, right? I made 100 grand a year as a 28-year-old. The money was gone. That was stupid. I don't know. It's not a money problem. It just drives me crazy. The rat race, education, all we're doing is teaching people to be employees. A lot of stuff broken.
Yeah, I mean, I think, what's the right nice way to say this? I don't know. Forget it. I'm not going to say it the nice way. What I hate is $1,000 iPhones and $1,200 iPhones.
Yeah.
What the hell? I promise you don't have that much going on that you need a $1,200 device in your hand. You just don't. Nope. So The issue is people prioritize. I'm like, oh, well, it's a monthly payment. Do you realize that I find so many people that have a $250 to $350 a month cell phone bill? Oh, but it's a family plan. I don't care what it is. What are you guys, special ops? What do you need a $350 a month cell phone plan for? Like, you don't. And so, Mike, when you and I grew up poor, we grew up poor. That meant that you ate shitty food. That meant that you didn't have cable. I didn't have cable until I was 16. Like, I thought static was part of television.
They wrote it in.
I'm like, we got channels like 4, 5, and 9, and I'm like, that was my life, and I wasn't a reader. Like, that was a problem. I remember my 56K baud modem trying to get online. Like, what a nightmare this stuff was. Like, the technology that we have available at people's fingertips today that can completely change lives. And where people insist and choose to waste money. Like, poor now is a completely different poor than it was when you and I were growing up.
Yeah. I mean, it's, again, if you're in the rat race, you got an iPhone, and shoot, today, your freaking kid has an iPhone, right? Their 12-year-old kid has an iPhone. Yeah. It's, I remember one time, I think we had just bought one of our 18, or maybe it was the 20 unit apartment building, and we were doing our walkthrough inspections. And it was an 18. And we counted 16 of the 18 units had what I called a big screen TV. At the time, these were probably $2,000 things. And
yes,
Olivia and I got in the car and both asked that one question, because again, what did we have at home? We had one TV, and it was 28. It might've been 18 or 24 inches. It was little. And here we are, 60-inch, TVs. And these weren't they big. They're not flat screens, right? They're big old projectors and like lights behind them and stuff. I don't want to hear about it. Right. We sat again. I got that course, Get Your Money Right. We sacrificed, we cut out, we live below our means for a decade. We still have one TV in the house. One. I don't know what to tell you. It's crazy.
I'm like, I don't get it either. I just don't. And that's where like the Getting Your Money Right course with our spreadsheet.
Yeah. You're budgeting. Yeah.
Like, just get it right. Get it right. You'll be shocked at how much money you create. You can usually, even when we still live way below our means. Mm-hmm. And, my wife even said, you know what, we can save, a few $100 a month if I just start cooking more. Her idea, not mine.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm totally good with that. Like, fingers crossed, she gets better at cooking. And she did. She did. She got much better. She's really good now. It's like 98% of what comes out of that kitchen is edible. It's much better. And that was a dicey situation a few years ago. Ugh. I was like, now, like before we had kids, I don't think she was really concerned if she made me sick. But now that we have kids, I think there's more concern there, because she's going to have to do a lion's share of the work taking care of them if they get sick from her food. But yeah, she's an amazing cook now. But even now, Mike, we look for areas where we can tighten the belt. Yeah. It's just the way that it is. And so, yeah, like I've got this one tenant right now, Mike. They've got two 55-inch plus televisions. All three of the adults in the household have the newest iPhone, and they can't pay rent. It's just, yeah. In 1990, my parents were driving around in a 1977 Oldsmobile Delta 88.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. S-Box.
Yeah. Again, this all goes back to the rat race. It's seductive. It's easy. It's comfortable. And here's the deal. I don't know what the percentage is. 95% of folks are in the rat race and don't even know. It's just that seductive and it's easy. Trust me, it's much better outside the rat race, but unfortunately you got to pay a price. That's a decade in the making. We both made it, and most people won't.
Yeah. What my favorite comments are the ones that where people have only watched a video of ours or two.
Yeah.
And they're like, man, Mike and Matt are just such callous assholes.
It's either that or the ones that go, "You just lucky." I fucking hate them.
It's like, I'm not callous at all. I really want people to hear the truth, because I'm a ninth grader dropout. I made it. I made it. You can too, but it wasn't easy.
Yeah. Again, you'd love his life now, but you wouldn't want the beginning. And most people watching this are starting ahead of you. Like if you're running a 100-yard race, they're 40 yards ahead of you and they're still whining. Yeah. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, we make our futures. Certainly life events happen and things do happen to us. Sometimes that happens. Yeah. But largely speaking, we make our futures. And again, you can decide to fight and grind and push, or you can decide to not to. And if you decide to not to, then you will always be waiting for that next check and waiting to find out what somebody else is going to, benevolently give to you. And I just didn't want to live my life that way. I suck at receiving gifts even now. I tell my wife, I'd much rather just have a nice quiet dinner with you than get any gift for Father's Day. Like that's just, my wife's not that way, but I am. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I want to give people hope. I want to give them a challenge to say, stop accepting so little. You only get one life. Stop accepting so little. Expect so much more. You can have it all, but it doesn't come without sacrifice, work, and hard work, and just a constant daily grind. That's what it takes.
Well said. Well, do yourself a favor, folks. Immediately follow the Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube. He puts out amazing stuff. And if you're ready to do the work, you have hope and want the future, buy the course below, How to Get Started One Rental at a Time. It's how we did it. You've put in there house hacking, which is the way lots of youngsters should get started. So I appreciate it. Any closing thoughts?
Like Mike said, it's not, honestly, the $300 on the course is so little compared to what you spend on other crap. Yeah. Like, honest to goodness, like make the investment in yourself. I don't know how many hours of content there is out there, Mike. How many hours of content is that?
Oh, it's got to be approaching 50 hours. Yeah.
I mean, $6 an hour to learn from a bunch of multimillionaires.
Pretty cool, I think.
Nuts. Yeah. Like that's why I was happy to be a part of it. But yeah, I mean, people need to make the investment in themselves. And if you choose not to make the investment in yourself, then wait for life to happen to you.
There you go. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate your time this week. These were some great conversations.
Thanks, Mike. Happy to do it. Appreciate the time.